go. All right. Oh, yeah, look at him. You got to fight him on the surface.
What I like to do is take an RC jig from Northland Fishing Tackle.
Get the shiner after the fish attacked it. Hook 'em weedless style.
This puppy wanted a jigging size sucker minnow. Yeah, sucker minnow.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bro Roadshow on the water, and hopefully you're just getting off the water. The weather's really turned here, and this superstorm's heading our way. Hopefully it's not too super. We do need rain, though, but the Bro Roadshow is about getting more out of your fishing, and this is about open water. We do an ice event, but we have a really great show tonight. And before I bring in my co-host, Sam, I want to tell you, we have Jeff Gustafson on tonight. Gussie is a Bass Master champion, and he fishes from all over the place. And he actually has placed really high in a tournament just recently, and he's going to be on the show tonight in about 15 minutes. But before I bring in Sam, I want to thank Brooke, our producer, for making this happen. And Brooke is really a great asset to this. And congratulations to last week's winner at the end of the show. Wayne Campman won a big prize, and we got something special in store tonight. We're getting a really big prize. But we're going to talk about tips and tricks, and Gussie's going to pull out his dirty tricks out of his boat. This is going to be super exciting. So without further ado, let's bring on Sam. How's Sam doing?
Good. How are you, bro?
Hey, good. Another week here, and reports are firing at us from Rainy River. It's opening up, and I got a Facebook friend send me a picture of the Wheelers Point access, and this is big news, even though we only got a couple days left.
Yeah. No, I actually got some inside information today. Dwayne and Jace Peterson were up at the Rainy, and they're texting Charlie all day today. And it sounds like the bite was a little tough up there. Sounds like the water's starting to get dirty. Maybe one of those forks opened up. So unfortunately, with only a couple days left, it looks like there might be some tough fishing ahead of us. But you know what? After walleye closes, there's always sturgeon too. So
yeah, we're going to have a designated show about sturgeon. 2 Mondays, or a second Monday from this coming up one. So we're going to switch to Mondays for 3 days. And how you doing, Jeff, out there? I hope you're all doing well. I know the Fox River and some of those waters are really high right now. Lock and Dam, number 3 and 4. It's a little bit of a grind everywhere right now, but things are changing. And I want to say that Rainy River is opening fast. It closes the 14th Thursday, so it is what it is, and it's about a catch and release. But there's so many other destinations. We talk about this all the time, and so many other fish to fish for. But we're going to have a good time tonight. We have Jeff Gussie, and he is like the first. There's Gussies out there. He is the Gussie. You know, how you doing, David? And so he's going to be on tonight, and he's going to have some bag of tricks. So it's going to be awesome. Hey, Sam, tell everybody how they could win the giveaway tonight, would you?
yeah, so we got 2 giveaways going tonight. Since Gussie's here, and he does a lot for Northland, but also a ton for Bagley as well, we decided to do a Northland giveaway and a Bagley giveaway. So make sure to like, comment, and share the show. And each giveaway is going to be 5 hard baits and a free hat. And just like the last show, we have this promotion going on our website right now that if you don't win the giveaway, you can actually go to our website and buy either 5 of the same Rumble Series baits or 5 of the same Bagley baits, and you'll get a free hat. So if you don't win, make sure to swing over to Northland Tackle or BagleyBaits.com and check out our promotion going.
And get that nice mug. And you can't beat those Bagley baits.
Mug comes in the giveaway, but not in the promotion, unfortunately.
Well, here's I really like the perch patterns, and these are balsa with through wire construction, so the heat compression molded. They're going to last you forever. But look at these colors. I love that. I'd love to troll that on Erie right now. I know they'd be getting them, but Sam, other than tackle, one of the most important things an angler can have is a rod that performs every time. And this is why I use St. Croix rods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, St. Croix, they made a quality product for a long time, and we were talking before the show. I think my favorite part about a St. Croix is there's a lot of rods out there that are either really durable, but you sacrifice some sensitivity, or a lot of rods that are super sensitive but not very durable. And St. Croix are super durable, but they don't sacrifice any sensitivity. So you still get that fine quality of a rod, but they're a workhorse. You can put them to work, and they're not busting on fish. They're an awesome product built by a bunch of awesome people. So
Well, and here's the thing. The reason I've been with them so long is if you buy a St. Croix rod now and you buy one 10 years from now, the quality is the same. They only improve. They don't change in any other way. You pick it up, it bends. So if you're looking for a like rod, it's going to be as consistent as that one. And they have their own science, and they make stuff from scratch like biscuits there. And it's pretty hard to beat. And right in Wisconsin, man, I'd like to go there right now because I am thinking about panfish. I know we're all thinking bass and walleyes. I love big crappies. I cannot lie. And I like their new panfish series. The actual handle fits so perfect in your fingers. It's just a great, great rod. And, another thing, throughout the Midwest, this has been one of the most wicked springs ever. And I'm telling you, in the Detroit River, we had Dusty last week, and they had teens and windy and pre-fishing for tournaments, and guys were getting 0 bites in an entire day's time with all the technology. And then rainy. We had a really nice day there a couple days ago. I like the comments here, hammering big crappies, but Avco makes the Reaper, and you can see it right here, and the Avco thing. And I mean, I got my Humminbird on there, but here's the thing about this. This is why the tournament anglers have this. They're cruising. I have a full windshield in my boat for times like this, but that Avco Reaper, it's got to be the best clothing invention ever, and super excited to try their Hydronaut suit too. So I don't care if it rains. I'm going fishing.
Yep, that little built-in gator they have on that thing is awesome, because so many times you find yourself out in the boat and then you're like, where's my gator? Or you take it off for a little bit, misplace it, but having the convenience of it just being up and down there is really, really makes it nice for a guy like me who's always throwing stuff around the boat and forgetting where I put stuff. So,
well, and here's the deep V jig that everybody's talking about right now, and I just clipped it off to show you. That's one of my favorite rainy ones there. And I'm using rainbows, and I have stashes of them here and there, but I use the Fish Monkey gloves. I never take them off. I grab a rainbow. It's all slimy and wet, and then I bait it up. So you don't take them off all day, and that's the Fish Monkey Stealth Dry Tech. So not, to go in too many things, but these are things you really need this time of year. You could you could use a bait caster with it. So super cool. But when it's nasty, you just still got to go fishing. But so we are getting close to the Gussie time here, but not quite yet. As far as fishing, when you're on the river, I like to use about a 7.5 foot rod when I'm jigging. How you doing, David? Thanks for coming in from Little Bay to Knock. Probably still frozen up there. But, if it's windy out, I'll go down to a pool cue. So St. Croix makes shorter sizes, and the 6 foot rod are fantastic, and it negates the wind. You get a little extra wind on the rod. You don't feel anything. And like you were saying, some rods are sensitive, but they still break easy or have flaws. They got a whole area at St. Croix where they test the rods to make sure they don't break. They got a machine there. They got stuff probably I don't even want to talk about, but I was amazed at someone's job is to break everything. And I think I could be good at that. You know what I mean?
Or send me there.
But so I'll use a 6 foot rod, 5'9", 6 foot or whatever. But if it's real windy, but 7 is a great one. And Legend Elite, whether you're using that or, Legend, Legend is a Legend rod, right? It's going to be really good. Legend Elites are probably my favorite. I still like Cork, but it's pretty cool.
And bro, those deep V's too. So Charlie and Jace, we're up on the Rainy early last week, and they're really getting them on those deep V's, and it was actually kind of fun to see. Charlie threw together a little TikTok video, so make sure to check out Northland's TikTok. But people are actually commenting on the video, hey, that's what we were catching them on too. So that deep V design has that keel jig head. So in current situations, swimming a jig, it really helps that jig stay upright and fall quickly. Just like your boat tracking through the water, just like a big old Lund, right?
Yeah, I love my Lund. And I can't wait to talk to Gussie's Lund guy. Can't wait to bring that up with him. I want to hear it. He is holding court well for Lund, and he's a Iron Man for all the companies. And there is the bread and butter jig right there, the fireball jig that started everything. This is fantastic. And pull 4 pitching riprap. You don't get snagged as much as long shanks. I love the deep V, but I love them so much I don't want to give them to the rocks. So I'll use a short shank jig, and you can get a snag, but not as much. It seems to roll right through it, and just add a stinger for the wafters. The fish that kind of turn, but they're big and slow, and you get them on that stinger. Don't hook the stinger on the bait. You can do that if you want. I don't. It's the lightest part of the presentation, and when they suck at it, they get the stinger. So really cool stuff from Northland Tackle. And so before we get on there, anybody out there been on the Fox River or any of that stuff, go ahead and send us some reports as we're going here. But a huge thing that I want to talk about is sizing the jig to your bait. Here we got a lot of rain, dirty water on the Fox. Now, I heard that it was a foot to 3 feet higher than normal, and the Fox is a big fish bowling alley. I mean, they're just stacked like pins there, and you just roll through them. And then Detroit River, I had a buddy he didn't say where he was on Detroit, but he was out in Detroit today, and they're starting to get them. So as all these waters warm up a little later than normal, our seasons are closing here, but we're in kind of a bad spot because we're in northern Minnesota. We got to drive an extra hour to 3 hours just to get to all these open waters after that one closes. But here's a couple of jigs. So there's a long shank fireball is perfect if you're going to use a shiner because that's got that hook that gets way back there. And a regular RZ jig is perfect for fatheads. Now that's it's designed for rainbows and fatheads in my mind, and I'm not sure if you designed them for the minnows, but I tell you what, I know you did that one for shiners. Golden shiners, emerald shiners, if you get the real big ones, work real good. And for those of you who've been out east, they have great shiners. As you get in Wisconsin and Michigan, they have emerald shiners as big as our spot tails, and they call spot tails grays out there, but that's a great bait for those real big ones. Outside of that, jigs are a big thing with rivers, and but cranking is a good way to get them, and that's why don't forget to bring your Bagley baits. The Rumble series has been fantastic and is receiving huge accolades from the fishing community, so it's pretty cool.
While we're waiting for Gussie for a little bit here, we got some questions last week about pulling those Northland Rumble shiners in the river and either doing it with a bottom bouncer or a 3-way rig. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that setup so those people that were listening can?
Absolutely. So you could use a 3-way rig, and in heavy current, if you're in, maybe 3 or 4 mile an hour, you can go 3 or 4 ounce sinker, and you're going to use a bell sinker under your 3-way swivel and 18 inches of line and a floater that kind of goes straight like this. You don't want a super diver that's gouging the bottom. You want a floater out there because spring walleyes floaters are really popular. I like that comment. The pompano biting anywhere that there's fish biting, I love it. good one, Steve. But you got that slight wobble behind it. So. And everybody's running at a different lengths, 20, sometimes 20 feet back. But I don't think you need that in dark water. You don't have to go that far back. You could probably go 8 feet behind your 3-way and run, a rumble, maybe a rumble shiner or something like that, and you'll be fine. But using let's stop this right now and continue with the rumble series with Gussie. Hey, Brooke, is Gussie in the house? Let's bring Gussie on. Oh, there he is.
What's up?
How's it going? Gussie is a Bassmaster champion and he's actually coming back
Big
from Chickamauga, and he finished 19th place, which is a real feat against those animals out there. Those are some of the best anglers in the world, and you bested a lot of them, and you're arguably the most popular human being alive in Canada right now. So thanks for being on our show.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, I was very happy with my 19th place finish on the weekend. Obviously top 10s are better, winning's way better, but it was tough fishing. We get 3 days to pre-fish for those events, and I fished all 3 days from dark to dark, and I actually never caught a keeper. There had to be 15 inches, and I never caught 5 keepers any of the 3 practice days. I think I caught 4 every day. I might have been able, to sit on one of those spots and get another one, but it was super tough. And then in the tournament, I caught my 5 keepers each day, and that was it. So
wow, what a grind!
Big ones, and ended up having a pretty solid event, which I needed. We're hanging in there in the race to make the classic next year. It's at Knoxville, Tennessee, the same place I won at last year. So I want to be in that tournament next
Oh yeah, there is. Look at you. That had to be just life-changing. What an amazing feat.
Yeah, it was. So yeah, I think I'm right at the line, either like first one in or out right now for next year's classic, but the schedule should start getting a little bit more favorable for me as far as like I can fish offshore a little bit more. We got a couple smallmouth events coming up. So yeah, life's good. Just got
fantastic. And there wasn't a target on your back last time, but well, now I don't know, man. You really schooled everybody in that one. But this past tournament here, 5 bites in a day. I know we all have to go through that. That's tournament life. And well, how'd you do it, man?
Yeah, so it was like junk fishing 101 kind of. And by that, I just mean I caught fish on a whole bunch of different baits and techniques. Basically, every day I caught 1 or 2 on a little crankbait. So this is a new Bagley shallow Sunny B. And I don't know. Are they available yet, Sam?
No, they should be available this fall sometime. So right now we have the regular Sunny B with the deeper diving lip, but this is a shallow Sunny B, and it's actually a Bagley product that's kind of been out there in the past, but we're bringing it back with these new colors we launched this year. So it's a awesome little bait.
Yeah, you can see it's short bill. I don't know if you can tell, but I mean it's pretty beat up. I got some Gamakatsu MH, the medium heavy G finesse trebles on there, razor sharp, and then just whipping that around. So I could rub bottom in like 4 feet with this thing. So it actually goes deeper than it looks like it does. And just, I had a couple shorelines that just had a little bit of sand and rock, some stumps mixed in, laydowns, and just covering water with this. I caught one of my big ones the first day, and then a couple good keepers on day 2 and 3. And, it was just a good way to like cover some ground and get bites. And then every so often, I'd come up on a laydown in the water and I'd flip a jig on it, or, I caught a couple doing that. I think I got one on a chatterbait, a couple on a Ned rig throughout the event. And I actually caught one big one on a floating worm, which is something I've never caught a memorable, but I caught
that's
one
awesome.
Pounds on it the second day. They were really close to wanting to spawn, but they weren't really quite spawning yet. At least I never saw any. I know a few of the guys did catch some off beds, that they said, but like what happens, a lot of these big females will actually just suspend in front of the laydowns and just stuff along the bank. Like they're right there where they want to spawn, but like they're just hanging out, 10 or 20 or 30 feet from where the beds will actually be. And they're suspended, like they're just pretty negative, pretty hard to catch. And so that was kind of a cool, I caught my biggest fish of the tournament on a spinning rod, and but I did get a 6-pounder the first day on this crankbait, so that was a big deal too. And that might be my new favorite bait in the Bagley lineup. So pretty much won me $10,000 this weekend, so it was
that little Sunny B it's kind of a semi semi-flat sided bait. So it's not like, we have the Balsa B series, and then we have the flat Balsa B. It kind of sits in between those. So it's got this nice little tight action that fish, tight action's really related to, spring and fall cold water. But especially up in the north up here, you can catch fish on those baits all year round.
Well, James Machad just said he catches them on leech using that color. That's kind of cool that it's a good color.
And this will be a really good walleye crank, as is the regular Sunny B that's going to go in that, run in that 6 to 10 foot range. So, but if they're up shallow, I mean, places where you might throw a little swim bait or something, you can rattle this thing around along the bottom. And crankbaits are pretty good like this. As far as, every once in a while you'll hit some wood and maybe get hung up, but like you can reel through a lot of that rock and stuff on the bottom where a jig gets snagged all the time. And this thing bouncing off the rocks that's part of the good triggering qualities that it has for bass, and then obviously for walleyes as well.
What was the size on that? Someone was wondering on that.
Yeah, so this is the Bagley Shallow Sunny B. It's a size 5 body, right? So this one will be available this fall. Right now we just have the Bagley Sunny B, which is a little bit deeper diver. It's like a 5 to 7 foot bait is the regular Sunny B.
I got one right here, yeah.
Also, Gussie, you were talking about that being a great walleye bait. In the Northland lineup, we have the Rumble Bug, and Brooke, after Gussie kind of shows that off. So here's the Rumble Bug, and the Rumble Bug is a size 4 body, and it's actually based off the design of the Sunny B, and it catches everything.
Absolutely.
It became one of my favorite baits this fall. I fished some smaller lakes in my kayak around here, and I was catching big bluegills, big crappies, big bass, and a lot of big pike that unfortunately claimed a few of those. But those little Sunny Bees and the Rumble Bugs are just fish catchers.
Yeah, now I got to ask Gussie, is that going to be a crank you'd throw on your next stop here in your winning area?
So next stop on the Elite Series, we're going to Lake Fork in Texas. But it's probably got the most big bass of any place that we fish. We'll use a lot of bigger baits. They're big crank baits, big swim baits. But it's also very pressured. So like a little bait like that, you never know. Like you might be able to go down some stretches behind guys and get an extra bite or two.
Absolutely. And I was going to just put in a plug too here for Gamakatsu. I am using, and I just had a picture here I'm going to put up here with a drop shot. Believe it or not, this is really rocking my walleye world. I'm super excited to take these out this summer. I was tying drop shots myself, but I like this swivel because the bait spins once in a while. And Gussie, you're using Gamakatsu too, and just another little quiver, to have in your arrow keeper,
Oh man, they have so many cool little hooks like that. That especially for the bass and walleye anglers that that are perfect for a lot of different jobs. That B10 Stinger, that's my probably favorite all around hook. It's actually a fly tying hook, but everybody's using it for Nico rigs and wacky rigs now for bass, and then it's also a really good hook for a drop shot as well. They're pretty small, but they have a good bend and angle to them. And
well, they got this worm drop shot now, so it's got this little saver you can see just over here, and that's pretty amazing. And you crimp your line in, and they make this at the bottom, so you could have 10 feet of line and just adjust as you go to find out how far off the bottom they are. And that it's crazy. Little by little, the bass world is winning all the walleye stuff, and it's unbelievable. So, you're going to have walleye guys watching everything you do, and the bass guys are watching stuff too because they're using ice fishing lures out there once in a while. But very interesting. And how big do the bass get in that next stop? What would be a big one?
This is actually going to be our 4th year in a row going there, and I'm pretty sure every year it's over 10 pounds. That's where I've got my biggest bag, and in pro competition, I don't know, 27 or 28 or 29 pounds there a few years ago one day. But yeah, it's good. I mean, over the course of the week, you're going to get, as long as you get into a few fish, like you're definitely going to catch some 6 to 8 pounders and maybe a bigger one. Like I've hooked a few there that have just like, there's stumps and standing timber everywhere. So like, you're definitely not landing all the ones you hook, but
yeah,
I've hooked into a few there that have like straightened out some hooks and just, went the other way on you.
That's fantastic. I've noticed too, you represent Lund very well, and you're in a Lund. I'm Lund pro staff now. I'm going to be in a Lund this year. I'm super excited. And you've been in Lund forever and are doing real well. Look at this. You are winning tournaments and did this high placement, and you're doing really well for Lund. Now you set up that boat to help you in your fishing. How do you got it set up?
Well, yeah, so I'm sitting in it right now. I just got back from Tennessee last night, and so everything's kind of a mess. But yeah, this is my shop, and I've actually got an old Alaskan here that's sort of my hunting boat.
Sure.
And I fish out of it a lot. Like for somebody looking for an all-purpose, it's all vinyl floor. You can just spray it out. That rig. But yeah, there's my console. You got an Aquaview over there, a couple birds. I'm holding my computer, so bear with me if it's not.
No, that's working really well. And we got a picture of how your Aquaview is lined up here, an actual photo. Look at this. and you look at hummingbirds and Aquaview. I mean, if we don't get any fish, look at that setup. And that's how I've always run it on my boat. I like having that Aquaview right there so you can just drop it in. If you got to unravel it and do all this stuff, a lot of anglers will bring it and won't use it, but if it's ready to roll, you're going to use it.
Yeah, I keep it there, and I just I power it with the cigarette plug on my boat, so it's really really simple. And just pull the camera and spool out when I want to use it. But look at the storage in this thing; it's a mess, a mess right now. But yeah, lots of storage, and then I'm actually able to store some baits up on the. This is all foam on the door to make it quiet, so you don't slam the compartments, and good place to hang some baits. And then up at the front I got 360 Mega Live. I took those units off just for traveling, but
sure.
But yeah.
And you've been with Lund how many years now?
Since like 2007, so it's
wow,
like 15 years. Yeah. Obviously living at Lake of the Woods, I'm in Lund country, and I probably wouldn't be pursuing a career in the fishing industry and tournament fishing if I didn't have all the help that I've gotten from them. So, but yeah, is a 2075 Pro V bass. And I mean, as you can see, look, I'll show you one more thing here this is going to block the light, so you won't be able to see it that great probably. But if I open up my rod blocker, I don't know if you can see that very well, but there's probably like 20 fishing rods in there. And,
they're jammed in there.
I can store, everything I want to store in this boat. So yeah, it's a real fishing machine. I love it, and gets the job done.
What size Merc is on that?
I got a 250 Pro XS 4-stroke.
That's got to make it fly, huh?
Yeah, I run around 60. Obviously, if I got a pile of jigs and tackle and everything in here all the time. So if you lighten up the front of it a little bit, you could go, like I've got it up to like 64, 65 before, but I run like 60 on a tournament load with a Marshall in the boat with me.
That's fantastic.
Bro's got the glass walleye Lund, but your Pro V bass is aluminum. Yeah. And there's been a lot of guys running aluminums, cleaning it up on the Elite Series this year. It's making me kind of wonder, Steve Kennedy always praised the silentness of aluminum boats slipping into shallow water and whatnot. It's making me wonder.
I mean, like I can go anywhere a fiberglass boat can go in mine, like as far as getting up as shallow as I want to go. I carry a push pole with me all the time. I had to use it a little bit at Santee. And then I get stuck once or twice a year when I'm down south. Like you sometimes get exploring up some little canal or river, or who knows where it's going to end up. And you end up on a sandbar or something. So a push pole is good to have. I don't usually want to be getting out of the boat in those kinds of places down there where there's gators and snakes. And,
Well, and when you're fishing a tournament, do you ever have spots like you'll just use the AquaView to spy on the spot, but you might just catch. I like to catch one fish if I'm doing a walleye tournament, but I see people pre-fishing spots to death, and I just want to see them.
Oh,
And if I can catch one, I just look at them, and it's a great way to go stealth. Do a lot of pros use cameras, or I think
on the Elite Series, at least I bet you at least half or more carry an AquaView in the boat with them. And there's probably 20 to 30 of the elite guys that I've introduced to Colt, and he's, helped them out to get one.
Yeah.
So we'll give a lot of the elite guys a deal on them. But yeah, I think it's mandatory equipment. I mean, they're not, obviously, some of the if you go to a shallow, muddy place where you're fishing the bank, then you're not going to use it maybe that week. But for me now, the rest of the season, there's going to be fish to be caught offshore, around brush, around deep rocks, and I'm going to use it all the time. And then the St. Lawrence River, we go there pretty much every year, and that's the most phenomenal place that I've ever seen to use it. I mean, the water's gin clear, and then there's a lot of current in the river, so it's cool because it allows you to cover a ton of ground. The current keeps the camera under the boat. So instead of like drifting a stretch and trying to get a couple bites to see if there's fish there, I can put the AquaView down, see 20 or 30 feet on each side of me, way ahead. And that's how I find like all my spots at that place. And
that's really cool.
That's something that I should probably just keep to myself, but
yeah, well, no, I mean, I know what you mean. It's it's like puppet minnows. No one wanted to talk about them in the past, but hey, Sam, it's that time. I want people to know we got a huge prize pack, and Northland is a big supporter here. What can they win tonight?
Yep. So again, we're giving away 2 of those giveaways. So we'll have a Northland one and a Bagley one. And the Bagley one includes those Sunny Bees that we were talking about earlier.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, if you like, comment, and share the show, you'll be entered to win. We'll pick 2 winners at the end. You get the 5 baits, the hat, and the bro mug. So make sure to comment, like, and share the show, and we'll pick a winner.
These new
I like the Bagley hat.
Yeah,
look at it. Even got
Jesse's rocking it right there.
Hey, Charlie, where's my hat? My Bagley.
No, like super comfortable, low profile, like not going to hurt you up in here.
Yeah, they're not a cheap giveaway hat. I think we're selling them for like $27 on the website or something. So they're a legit hat. So yeah, the giveaway is a good deal. And then, like I said, if you go on our website right now and buy 5 of the same style of Bagleys or 5 of the same style of Northland Rumble Series baits, you'll also get a free hat. So.
I just seen, is that true, Sam, that some of the Sunny Bees, when the pros buy them, they actually come with a deposit slip in them, so when they win, they could just put it right in the bank right away?
Yeah.
The Sunny Bee is a banking statement, basically, right?
I think Gussie might have to give Eric some love on that one, because Eric went up to go ice fishing with him and got him a bunch of those baits before he headed down there. So
yeah, so you guys, first of all, you guys missed out on a great ice fishing trip.
I know. I'm so bummed I couldn't come up there, but
it was cold. But yeah, that was the big pike of the weekend. We fished for 2 days. It was brutal cold. Like, you can see how much Eric's bundled up here, but that's a 43-inch pike. And there was 7 of us. We all caught over 40 inchers, and there was like 4 feet of ice still. So like we weren't working too hard on like covering a lot of ground. I mean, we were setting up, and you'd be gassed, sweating from drilling 8 holes. But
that looks like a fun time. I'd love to do it, and I will make it someday. I just get busy. But I was going to say, Gussie, I get this question, and this is a perfect time. Technology is at a fast pace, and Humminbird Mega Live and 360, and I know you've used these, are game changers for viewing with the Mega and side imaging and all these technologies, spot lock, jog. I mean, these are big things in not just fishing, but for you in the tournament. Are everybody using this stuff?
Everybody's using this stuff. And, for me, if you don't have, like, I hate to say it almost, but like, if you don't have Mega Live or the forward facing sonar on your boat, the first part of our season so far, you could have got by with, it's been a lot of bed fishing, shallow fishing, but now a lot more fish are going to get caught offshore. And like, if you don't have that stuff, any of the tournaments up here where, in Northwestern Ontario on Lake of the Woods and Rainy Lake, I mean, if you don't have that stuff, your chances of winning are so slim. I mean, for me now, at like using it last year, using it this year, it would be like going ice fishing without a flasher. Like, I would rather sit at home and watch TV probably than go fishing if I didn't have that. And I mean, I love to fish. I'm out there all the time, and like to fish for everything, but I'm just trying to, tell people that if they haven't used it or seen it, I mean, it's gonna not only help you catch more fish, but it's a lot of fun to watch how they react to your bait, to see if there's actually anything there. Like, there's no more, Grandpa used to tell you, oh, just wait a little longer. They're here. I know they're here. It's like, I can look at this area the size of my shop and be like, there's 8 fish right over there on that corner.
Why wait?
Or they're all over it, Yeah, it's crazy.
They don't get the rest anymore. And the thing is with Mega Live, it's just like an ultrasound. You're pointing it out there, and you can see a school of crappies. You see the walleyes swimming through. In the walleye tournaments, they're actually finding out that walleyes are higher off the bottom, and guys are using super light jigs. They're using slip bobbers, and they're in 10 feet of water, and these fish are halfway down. And there's a viewer that's been using it. And any tips on open water? You got any tips for them on open water, Gussie?
Oh yeah, obviously you want to put it in forward mode. I like to put everything in a manual setting, so your forward range and your down range, and that's, you hit menu once when you're in Mega Live, all those options will come up. But put it in forward mode, and then, if you turn it totally pointed down and then start clicking it to the left, every click is 10 degrees. So if you want it at, like, if I'm fishing 15 to 30 feet of water, a little bit deeper, I want it on 40 degrees. I want it looking down a little bit more. And then if I'm fishing shallower for bass, casting a crankbait or a jerk bait or swimming a little swimmer or something, then I'm going to put it on 60 degrees, and that's going to allow me to see my bait out, farther ahead of the boat and see fish that are in a little bit shallower water. So, but 60 degree or 40 degree. And then as far as like the forward range, I've been running it on like 80 feet, and that's pretty much 2 casts worth, or a pretty long cast, but that's a couple boat lengths.
Have you had any fish hit on it? Have you been able to see them and then had them hit the lure and kind of seen the connection?
Yeah, like probably 1,000.
Wow.
I assume you're running yours on your Ultra. Oh, go ahead.
Bro, listen to me right now.
Yeah.
Of the last 1,000 fish that I've caught in deeper than 5 feet of water, 999 of them, I watched them bite my lure. That's what it is.
Well, everybody that's out there, you better get your Mega Live fast. And if they don't have it, get your name on a list.
Like, if you like ice fishing and you don't use a flasher, then you probably don't need this either. But if you ice fish and you've seen how deadly sonar or a flasher is, I mean, it's like that, but better. You can watch the fish swim from a distance to hit your buckshot. I got 2 coming behind it right now, or you can see the boulders really good. Like, for a lot of the smallmouth fishing that I do, I can just pitch a bait over to the boulder, and sometimes they'll be tucked up next to it and you don't see them until your bait gets close to it, and then here they come. If you hook a bass, smallmouths love to follow their buddy that's hooked. You can count how many followers there are. You can see muskies coming on your baits. I mean, it's incredible. And a lot of the best anglers now, they're using this technology. A lot of the muskie anglers and people that are really want to catch fish when they go out, they have like Jamie Bruce, one of my friends up here. He's actually got one on the front of his boat, and he's got one on the back for his wife to use when they're fishing. Because, like, she's seen how awesome it is, and she's like, I'm not missing the party here. I want my
his and hers, right? His and hers.
Yeah,
that keep peace in paradise.
Obviously, most, a lot of people aren't going to be able to have 2 of these on their boat. I don't either. But, like, if you have the means and you want to, like, make the most of your time on the water, like, and catch fish and have fun. I mean, you can put two of those things on.
I just had a question here. Go ahead.
The flip side of that too, Gussie, for ice fishing, you only need one and 2 or 3 guys. That's what we just went out ice fishing with Bro a few weeks ago, and we all set up in his shack and put the Mega Live down, and 3 of us were watching his 1 9-inch screen and trying to steal fish from each other, and it was a blast. So
yeah, one screen, and all of us. You heard a one boat network. This was a one pop up network. We were in there, and it was almost a slugfest. But we had a question earlier. It's probably got buried a little back, but we're watching everybody.
I saw the one about like using it in deep weeds, and absolutely it works great for that. And it also shows you like say a brush pile is a better example, but like a clump of weeds or a brush pile, I can see it on there, and then I can pitch my bait out and watch where it's falling. So like I don't land it, like I can articulate where I'm going to land my jig, or so I'm not putting it right in the center of the brush pile and getting snagged.
Like a video game.
To do it, like, okay, I know the brush is over there. You pitch a bait over and get it in the area, and you hope a fish grabs it before you get hung up. Now I can like just pull it a little bit and pull it off the side of the brush and drop it right next to it. And it's so fun to use.
In the spring, though, Gussie, I had a viewer, Stephen Perobek, asked, with ice leaving and in the spring and just catching fish in general, he wasn't real specific which ones, but any advice for people? The ice is leaving, the water's really cold. What would you do?
You want to, I mean, I think most of our audience here is either fishing for walleye, bass, and then maybe, pike and some panfish. And for all those species, you want to find the warmest water in the lake that first couple weeks that after the ice leaves. And, often find those shallow bays, the shallowest bays on the lake or water body that you're on, wherever the most blue water is. That's going to be where the most spawning habitat is for all those different species. And that's where in the spring, a good percentage of the fish are going to be found.
That's awesome. And so, we're going to be, we'll remind everybody, Sam, because I want people to know it's a double whammy tonight. They can win really big. Yep. And I don't want to forget this.
We got a few minutes left of the show here. Well, more than a few. But make sure to like, comment your question, and share the show, and that will get you entered in to win the giveaway. And again, we're doing 5 Northland Rumble hard baits, a hat, and the Bro Roadshow mug for one, and then 5 Bagley baits, the Sunny Bee baits, a hat, and a mug for the other. So we'll be picking 2 winners at the end of the show. So make sure to like, comment, and share.
Fantastic. Getting the Sunny Bees for free, with that little deposit slip that's built right in for the tournament anglers. But I wanted to go into it a little bit more. I seen the water was slightly darker, and I know we've got in my area, the water's gin clear now where we could actually see the fish in the spring. You're trying not to spook them, but you could see them 40, 50 feet away from the boat. You're pitching to the walleyes. I mean, but in that water, it looks like not very clear. So the real bright colors made a big difference. What was the clarity in those waters?
Oh, like at Chickamauga?
Yeah, Chickamauga. It looked a little stained, huh?
Yeah. So, it was just kind of stained. I mean, there'd be clear water in some of those creeks. A lot of the creeks there are spring fed, so it's clear that a lot of the southern reservoirs, but yeah, where a lot of the fish were getting caught was in the water that had some color to it, and that's where the crankbaits are going to shine. If it's super gin clear, that's where it's going to be tougher to get. You want to find on those clear water lakes where the wind's blown in and just getting a little bit of color, getting a little mud line. I mean, that's awesome for smallmouths and walleyes, and that's where these cranks are going to shine. As far as the color goes, I mean, that color will work up here too for all of our fish eat crayfish, so that's a good crayfish imitator. But it seems like in the south, in March and April, that red craw color is just real tough to beat for largemouths and smallmouths and spotted bass down south. You'll see some of the anglers throwing shad colored baits, but most of them are using that that red color. or
That's cool.
average.
And now someone just asked about the Mega Live, if you can keep updated. And that's the cool thing about Humminbird. They don't leave you like out cold. And if Gussie, if you want to go in on that,
yeah,
you can update them.
I had one update done on mine in at the end of January, and I know there's going to be more coming. They're continually working to make it perfect. So they keep you pretty in the loop on that, on their social media pages, on their website, that sort of thing.
That's a really cool thing about Humminbird, and it's a one boat network. They come up with this concept where everything in your boat communicates. It's it reminds something cool.
The other, and then the other question you're going to get asked is how do I know when I need to do an update on my unit? So when you get it, you can register the unit, through their website, just serial number and a little bit of info, and then it's going to tell you like which model you're on as far as like the updates go. There's a number for each one, and it'll tell you if there's one for your unit or not. It's pretty simple.
That's really cool. And then just Richard Elliott wants to know, what's the target temperature for big pike in Ontario? And I'll let you handle that because I know it's.
I mean, as soon as the ice goes out, they want to get up shallow. So that first couple weeks after, my favorite time is in the next couple weeks before the ice actually goes out. That's when you catch the most big ones. Tip ups in a predator rig and a big hunk of Cisco or a sucker minnow. But the first few weeks after the ice goes out, a lot of those big pike are going to be up shallow in the old pencil reeds, old bull rushes. Sometimes, 2 feet of water, a foot and a half of water. I mean, you can see them up there just sunning themselves. But that's where you'll find a lot of the big ones.
I can't believe how fast this show goes. I really can't believe it because it's already time to pick some winners. And we do have some winners. And Sam, do you want to announce the winners? Here we go, people. Now this is really cool stuff. So listen up.
We will start with the Northland giveaway. And the Northland giveaway is going to Nikki and Chris Hart. So they're going to get the 5
congratulations
Rumble Shads. And then the Bagley giveaway is going to go to Justin Hubin. So congrats on those winners of the baits, and we'll get those shipped out here tomorrow.
Good, and enjoy the mug too. Don't forget about that, people. And put only pop in there. But no, it's always fun having Gussie because he's coming back from like the big stage, the big bass championship, competing against these figureheads that we see in all the stores, and he is one of those figureheads, and he's out there fishing in some of the toughest climates anywhere, but he knows walleyes and he knows crappies, and he's from Sunset Country, man.
I just drove home. It was like 22 hours, 23 hours drive back from Chattanooga to Kenora. So I left Sunday morning. Carl Jacobson is one of my best friends that I fish against. He's from Australia, but he lives in Chattanooga at Chickamauga. He made the top 10 on Sunday at our tournament.
Wow.
And so we were getting up at like 4:30 in the morning. So I got up with him and got on the road and put in like 15 hours, made it to Duluth on Sunday night, stayed there, and then cranked out the rest of it yesterday. Today, we are supposed to get like the blizzard from hell tomorrow up here. And so we only have the walleye season closes after Thursday. So I actually went out this afternoon. I've got like 70 emails that I've neglected from the past week, like some writing projects to do. So I've been picking away at that, but I actually went out this afternoon. I'm like, I better go. I want to eat some walleyes because we won't be able to have them for like a month once the season closes. And I went out this afternoon, drilled 2 holes, and it took me like 7 minutes, and I got my walleyes, and we had
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's the magic of living there. But I appreciate you coming on, and Sam and I are real thankful that you came on, and I want to thank Gussie, and I want to thank my co-host Sam. Sam, he's a designer for all this digital stuff, and he's a camera guy. He makes lures. And Brooke Drace is magic and holds it all together. But I want to thank everybody for coming out. Have a happy Easter, and we'll see you next Monday. We're not a Tuesday, next Monday, and the Mondays after that. So thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.